Made lawful for you to go into your wives during the night of the fast. They are your garment and you are theirs. Allah knows that you used to betray yourselves, and He mercifully relented and pardoned you. So you may now associate intimately with your wives and benefit from the enjoyment Allah has made lawful for you, and eat and drink at night until you can discern the white streak of dawn against the blackness of the night. Then complete your fasting until night sets in, but do not associate intimately with your wives during the period when you are on retreat in the mosques. These are the bounds set by Allah. Do not then even draw near them. Thus does Allah make His signs clear to mankind, that they may stay away from evil. Do not usurp one another's possessions by false means, nor proffer your possessions to the authorities, so that you may sinfully and knowingly usurp a portion of another's possessions. People question you concerning the phase of the moon. Say, they are the signs to determine time for the sake of people and for the pilgrimage. Also tell them, true righteousness is not that you enter your houses from the back. Righteousness lies in fearing Allah, so enter your houses by the doors and fear Allah, that you might attain true success. Fight in the way of Allah against those who fight against you, but do not transgress, for Allah does not love transgressors. Kill them whenever you confront them, and drive them out from where they drove you out. For though killing is sinful, wrongful persecution is even worse than killing. Do not fight against them near the holy mosque unless they fight against you. But if they fight against you, kill them, for that is the reward of such unbelievers. Then if they desist, know well that Allah is ever forgiving, most compassionate. Keep on fighting against them until mischief ends and the way prescribed by Allah prevails. But if they desist, then know that hostility is directed only against the wrongdoers. The sacred month for the sacred month. Sanctities should be respected alike. Thus, if someone has attacked you, attack him just as he attacked you, and fear Allah and remain conscious that Allah is with those who guard against violating the bounds set by Him. Spend in the way of Allah, and do not cast yourselves into destruction with your own hands. Do good, for Allah loves those who do good. Complete Hajj and Umrah for Allah, and if you are prevented from doing so, then make the offering which is available to you. And do not shave your heads until the offering reaches its appointed place. If any of you should have to shave your head before that because of illness or injury to the head, then you should make redemption by fasting or almsgiving or ritual sacrifice. And when you are secure, then he who avails of Umrah before the time of Hajj shall give the offering he can afford. And if he cannot afford the offering, he shall fast for 3 days during Hajj and for 7 days after he returns home. That is 10 days in all. This privilege is for those whose families do not live near the holy mosque. Guard against violating these ordinances of Allah, and be mindful that Allah is severe in chastisement. The months of Hajj are well known. Whoever intends to perform pilgrimage in these months shall sustain from sensual indulgence, wicked conduct, and quarreling, and whatever good you do, Allah knows it. Take your provisions for the pilgrimage, but in truth, the best provision is piety. Men of understanding beware of disobeying me. It is not offense for you to seek the bounty of your Lord during pilgrimage. When you hasten back from Arafat, then remember Allah at Al-Mashar al-Haram and remember Him in the manner He has directed you, for before this you were surely in error. Then press on even as others press on and implore Allah's forgiveness. Allah is most forgiving, most merciful. And when you have performed your rites, remember Allah as you remember your fathers, or remember Him even more. There are some who say, Our Lord, grant us what is good in this world. Such shall have no share in the hereafter. There are others who say, Our Lord, grant us what is good in this world and what is good in the world to come, and protect us from the chastisement of the fire. They shall have a portion from what they earned. Allah is quick in reckoning. And remember Allah through the appointed days. It is no sin for him who hastens off and returns in 2 days, and it is no sin for him who delays the return, provided he has spent the days in piety. Beware of disobeying Allah, and know well that to Him you all shall be mustered. Among people there is a kind whose saying on the affairs of the world fascinates you. He calls Allah again and again to bear testimony to his sincerity, yet he is the most fierce in enmity. Whenever he attains authority, he goes about the earth spreading mischief and laying to waste crops and human life, even though Allah does not love mischief. Whenever he is told, Fear Allah, his vain glory seizes him in his sin, so hell shall suffice him. What a wretched resting place! On the other hand, among men, there is a kind who dedicates his life seeking to please Allah. Allah is immensely kind to such devoted servants. Believers, enter wholly into Islam and do not follow the footsteps of Satan, for he is your open enemy. And if you stumble in spite of the clear instructions which have come to you, then know well that Allah is most mighty, most wise. Are those people who are not following the right path in spite of admonition and instructions, waiting for Allah to come to them in canopies of clouds with a retinue of angels and settle the matter finally? To Allah shall all matters ultimately be referred. Ask the children of Israel how many clear signs we have gave them, and when a people tamper with Allah's bounty after it has been bestowed on them, then indeed Allah is severe in punishment. Worldly life has been made attractive to those who have denied the truth. Such men deride the men of faith, but the pious shall rank higher than them on the day of resurrection. As for worldly livelihood, Allah grants it to whomsoever He wills, without measure. In the beginning, mankind followed one single way. Later on, this state ended and differences arose. Then Allah sent forth prophets as heralds of good tidings for the righteous and as a warning against the consequences of evil doing. He sent down with them the book embodying the truth, so that it might judge among people in their disputes, and those who innovated divergent ways rather than following the truth were none other than those who had received the knowledge of the truth and clear guidance, and they did so to commit excess against each other. So by His leave, Allah directed the believers to the right way in matters on which they disagreed. Allah guides whomsoever He wills unto a straight way. Do you suppose that you will enter paradise untouched by the suffering endured by the people of the faith who passed away before you? They are afflicted by misery and hardship and were so convulsed that the messenger and the believers with him cried out, "When will Allah's help arrive?" They were assured, "Behold, Allah's help is close by." People ask you what they should spend. Say, whatever wealth you spend, let it be for your parents and kinsmen, the orphans, the needy, and the wayfarer. Allah is aware of whatever good you do. Fighting is ordained upon you and it is disliked by you. It may well be that you dislike a thing even though it is good for you, and it may well be that you like a thing even though it is bad for you. Allah knows and you do not know. People ask you about fighting in the holy month. Say, fighting in it is an awesome sin, but barring people from the way of Allah, disbelieving in Him and denying entry into holy mosque and expelling its intimates from it are more awesome acts in the sight of Allah, and persecution is even more heinous than killing. They will not cease fighting against you till they turn you from your religion if they can. So remember well that whoever from amongst you turns away from his religion and dies in the state of unbelief, their work will go to waste in this world and in the next. They are destined for the fire, and it is there that they will abide. On the contrary, those who believed and forsook their hearth and home and strove in the way of Allah, such may rightly hope for the mercy of Allah, for Allah is all forgiving, all merciful. They ask you about wine and games of chance. Say, in both these there is great evil, even though there is some benefit for people, but their evil is greater than their benefit. They ask, what should we spend in the way of Allah? Say, whatever you can spare. In this way, Allah clearly expounds His injunction to you that you may reflect upon them.